you remember the story of Banaz Mahmod? She was 20 years old when she was killed by those closest to her because they believe she had dishonoured them. Now, this was back in 2006, and her life was taken on the orders of her family because she ended a violent and abusive forced marriage.
Well, a new two-part drama called Honour, which airs on ITV this month, tells how Banaz's killers were finally brought to justice. We're joined now by the real-life detective who brought Banaz Mahmod's 5 killers to justice, former Detective Superintendent Caroline Good. Good morning to you, Caroline.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me on.
Well, look, obviously we're thrilled that you could come on and talk about this extraordinary case that both Kate and I remember reporting on back in the mid-2000s when it actually happened. It was your first case, wasn't it, as a DCI? I wonder how it affects you thinking back to it now, what it was about this case that really felt that you had to really challenge for justice for Banaz.
All of our cases are challenging, and we take all of them personally because that's what drives you on to get success. But I think that the difference with this particular murder is that normally when you're investigating a murder, you have a sort of heartbroken family that are pulled apart by grief. And part of your motivation in solving that murder is to try and bring some closure for the family. You're never going to get their loved one back, but you are trying to achieve justice for that family. And in this case, we were investigating the family for the murder, and it seemed to us at the time that very few of those family members actually loved Banaz at all. And so we kind of took on the role of a surrogate family, of surrogate parents, and we referred to her as our girl. And I'd certainly come across nothing like this whatsoever. I dealt with child abuse cases where children are killed by their family, but never where an adult woman had been killed by the people that were supposed to be protecting her for something as seemingly shallow as bringing perceived shame on the family.
It's an extraordinary case, isn't it? And to hear about you talking about it so candidly and honestly just makes anybody that has a family or family member think, how on earth could they have treated her so badly? I think one of the really chilling things that we've just seen that clip in Kira's report is of Banaz sitting in an interview room with the police saying, this is the situation I'm in, what can you do to protect me? I imagine that still haunts a number of those police officers to this day, that they couldn't do more and they weren't able to save her.
It is one of the very great tragedies of Banaz's story that there were opportunities missed to save Banaz's life. And largely that was due to ignorance about honour-based violence, which is one of the reasons that this drama is so important, because it's really going to help to raise awareness about honour-based violence. It's a crime that thrives in a culture of silence. So the more we can spread the story, the more we break down that culture of silence, and it makes it easier for other people to report it. But it also makes it easier for other people to understand what they're listening to and to be able to help. So yes, there were mistakes made, and they were for a variety of reasons, but largely they were due to ignorance around honour-based violence, which meant that people underestimated the risk to Banaz. They didn't understand the way that they should deal with victims of honour-based violence. They simply underestimated the risk, and in one awful case, the officers just simply didn't believe what she was being told because she'd never heard of anything like it. Things are very, very different now in policing. Banaz's death was a real catalyst for change. There has been a huge amount of investment in education, and that's not just with police, but also with social workers and education and all frontline service providers. But it's a story that needs to be told again and again in a variety of different ways to help spreading that message.
So this is the drama that you're referring to, and it's very reassuring to hear that there have been changes made, because I think that's the heartbreaking thing, as you said. It is the new one next Monday and Tuesday on ITV, and you are the Keeley Hawes role, aren't you, essentially? We're watching her portray a version of you. Have you had a chance to see it? Does it feel accurate to you?
I have had the opportunity to see it. I think it's a great drama and a great platform for spreading that message. I think it's accurate in all the places that it needs to be accurate. It's very, very respectful to Banaz's story. Of course, at the end of the day, it is a drama, and so there is some licence in there. I think The role that Keeley plays is very much more outwardly emotional than I would have been at the time. But of course, I did feel those emotions, and we didn't sort of have interpreters. I won't spoil the plot anyway. But it's important in the places that it needs to be. Sorry, it's accurate in the places that it needs to be.
I'd imagine as well, though, for you, Caroline, that still to this day, and watching the drama, and Weekend in Jail on ITV at 9 o'clock on Monday, Tuesday next week, as Kate said, the finally getting those 5 killers to justice, and I know 2 of them fled as well, and we got them extradited back to the UK. You achieving that for Banaz in her memory, and the legacy of that, hopefully, as you say, informing the police and honour-based killings, must be something you're still very proud of.
I'm immensely proud of having achieved that, but of course I didn't do it in isolation. I had a wonderful team of people that I worked with. And all of us brought something different to the investigation, and we all made a significant contribution to that. But yes, it is something of which I am particularly proud.
Caroline, good. It's so good to speak to you this morning. It sounds like, whilst a horrific story, a horrific case, that there will be some sense of satisfaction by us watching it. And also, of course, important awareness that the emotions behind this and some of the situation behind this actually, needs to be kept in the news, doesn't it? Because it's not completely gone away. And in fact, if you've been affected by any of the issues that we've been talking about, then you can find details of organisations that can offer you help and support on our website at itv.com/Good Morning Britain. But lovely to talk to you, Caroline.
Thank you, Caroline.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
The Honour is on ITV Monday and Tuesday at 9 p.m. And then after that, on Tuesday, there is a documentary about the case called Banaz, an honour killing exposure.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
it's really
10:45, and that's on Tuesday on ITV.